રાજદૂત એરિક ગાર્સેટ્ટી દ્વારા ભારત અને અમેરિકા સંબંધો અને પર્યાવરણની જવાબદારી અંગે મહત્વપૂર્ણ નિવેદન આપવામાં આવ્યું. દિલ્હીમાં આપેલા એક ભાષણમાં અમેરિકાના ભારતના રાજદૂત એરિક ગાર્સેટ્ટીએ વૈશ્વિક પર્યાવરણની જવાબદારી અને ભારત તથા અમેરિકા વચ્ચેના સંબંધોની ઊંડાણ પર ભાર મૂક્યો. ગાર્સેટ્ટીએ જણાવ્યું કે આપણો ગ્રહ સ્પષ્ટ સંકેતો આપી રહ્યો છે કે આપણે સાંભળવું અને એકબીજાની અને પર્યાવરણની કાળજી લેવી જોઈએ. તેમણે વિભાજક રાજકારણથી આગળ વધીને આપણને જોડતી માનવતાને અને આપણને ટકાવી રાખનારા ગ્રહને ધ્યાનમાં રાખવાની મહત્વતા પર ભાર મૂક્યો. ગાર્સેટ્ટીએ ભારત અને અમેરિકા સંબંધોને વિશ્વમાં સૌથી મજબૂત ગણાવ્યા, જે વિવિધ પ્રશાસનો અને રાજકીય પક્ષો વચ્ચે વધતા રહ્યા છે. તેમણે જણાવ્યું કે 1990ના દાયકાના અંતથી બંને દેશો કૂટનીતિનું એક મોડેલ બનાવી રહ્યા છે, જે ઇન્ડો પેસિફિક ક્ષેત્રમાં સક્રિયતા અને સહકારની મહત્વતાને દર્શાવે છે. આ સંબંધો માત્ર સંકળાયેલા લોકો અને દેશોના ટકાવારી માટે જ નહીં, પરંતુ સમગ્ર વિશ્વના કલ્યાણ માટે પણ મહત્વપૂર્ણ છે.
Our planet will continue to remind us of her needs. Our planet is crying out for us to listen and to take care of each other, to not become more atomized, but to become more connected, to figure out not the ways and the things that divide us, which seems to be increasingly sometimes what our politics are about, but to remind ourselves of the humanity that connects us with ourselves and the planet that sustains us. When we train healthcare workers over oceans, when we safeguard supply chains, whether we co-chair an international organization together, or we spur green investments that give us hope for the future and jobs for our own children and their children, as we launch satellites that keep an eye on us from space, the lesson, I think, is very clear and the message is very clear. Think about a world without the U.S.-India partnership for a moment. Think about children in Africa that will die because we never shared our vaccine technology. Think about what will happen when 40% of the climate change fight will happen here. The delta on carbon will happen right here in this country if we weren't able to bring technologies even more quickly from India to the United States and vice versa to fight this fight. But this has never been my fight to lead. It's always been yours. I want you to think about what you do in that fight each and every day, whether you're a private citizen, a business leader, whether you've committed yourself to public service inside government, whether you run a nonprofit or an association. That work isn't something that is just one silo of work. Health, we forget about until it affects us. We never do the proactive work. We see the doctor after the injury. He tells us to, or she tells us to, work out more often, control our diet, and we say, okay, we'll get to that. But whether it's the planet or ourselves, let us be proactive in this work. And may you see yourselves as the leaders I know that you are, that I have witnessed and been inspired by and humbled to work alongside. You know, we were filled with so many different experiences over the last 2 years, whether it was talking to residents in Malunong, which is in Shillong. It's the cleanest village in India. And I asked them what was the secret to creating such a beautiful village. And they said it was all about us realizing that this was our planet, that throwing something on the ground wasn't somebody else's responsibility, but it was mine, and that we could make it interesting and fun, and that we could connect ourselves more with the very earth that birthed us when we take care of her. We went into a sacred forest also in Meghalaya, where they talked about, the local tribal community talked about the centuries of people going into that forest to ask of the earth in the toughest moments. And they connected the environment and health when they said in the midst of the COVID pandemic, we hadn't been there for a long time, but we bathed ourselves and we purified ourselves and we brought together the villagers to go in there and to ask this planet to help us survive this moment that we didn't know if we would survive. We all know the answers are out there. Sometimes they're ancient, sometimes they're brand new, waiting to be discovered. But that our bonds here as two great countries, cultural, economic, scientific, and diplomatic, when people ask me if, there might be a fight in the news or two commentators are saying, are U.S. and India in trouble? This is the most resilient relationship in the world and the most important relationship to continue growing in the world. From administration to administration, through party to different party, the U.S. and India since the late 90s have been building a model of why we have diplomacy, of why our people engage with each other, of why crossing oceans in this Indo-Pacific is so critical, not only to the survival of our people and our countries, but of this very world.